Every great journey begins in the unlikeliest of places. For Brandon Burlsworth, that place was Harrison, Arkansas. In this quiet, tight-knit town, people lived simple lives, modest, hard-working, and humble. But even here, greatness had its seeds. Brandon wasn't like most kids. From the moment he could walk, he had a ball in his hands and a dream in his heart. But life wasn't easy. He was an underdog even in his earliest days, often overlooked because of his weight, his lack of speed, and his signature thick glasses. But Brandon had something that many others didn't. His mother, Barbara, and his brother, Marty, believed in him, even when the world doubted him. Marty, especially, became Brandon's mentor and biggest cheerleader, constantly pushing him to reach for the stars. Growing up, Brandon's love for football was clear, and like every kid in Arkansas, his dream was to play for the Razorbacks. But while others dreamed, Brandon worked. He didn't have the natural talent of some of his peers, but he made up for it with an unrelenting drive to improve himself. In high school, Brandon joined the Harrison Goblins football team. At first, he struggled to keep up. He wasn't the fastest, nor the most agile, and many doubted if he had what it took to succeed. But Brandon never let criticism deter him. Instead, he used it as fuel. Slowly but surely, Brandon improved. Coaches began to notice his grit and determination. He wasn't just working harder than anyone else, he was working smarter, studying the game and learning to use his size as an advantage. But no matter how hard Brandon worked, he still faced an uphill battle. By the end of high school, major colleges weren't knocking on his door. Recruiters overlooked him, labeling him as too slow and unpolished for Division I football. Yet, in true Brandon Burlsworth fashion, he refused to give up. After graduating from high school, Brandon Burlsworth made a decision that many considered unthinkable. With no scholarship offers and little support from recruiters, he chose to walk on at the University of Arkansas, home of the Razorbacks, the team he had idolized his entire life. As a walk-on, Brandon started at the bottom. He wasn't given a jersey with his name on it. He didn't have a scholarship. And to most of his teammates and coaches, he was just another body, a player who was there to fill practice rosters, not someone destined to play in real games. At 300 pounds, Brandon was overweight and out of shape compared to his teammates. Coaches doubted he had the endurance to make it through the grueling practices, but Brandon had something no one could measure: heart. While others rested, he worked. While others doubted, he believed. Brandon knew that if he wanted to succeed, he had to transform himself. He began an intense regimen to lose weight, gain strength, and improve his skills. He even became known for carrying a cooler of healthy meals around campus, refusing to let poor eating habits derail his progress. Even as Brandon improved, the doubts didn't disappear. Some of his coaches saw him as a long shot, a player who didn't belong on a Division I roster. Teammates teased him for his weight and his signature thick glasses, calling him the chubby kid with goggles. It was clear to those paying attention Brandon wasn't going anywhere. No matter how hard they pushed him, no matter how often he fell, he always got back up. He wasn't just surviving, he was proving he belonged. Brandon's relentless work ethic and humility didn't just transform his game, they earned him the respect of his teammates and coaches. He became known for staying after practice to help others, for volunteering his time off the field, and for his unwavering commitment to doing things the right way. His teammates began to see that Brandon wasn't just chasing a dream for himself, he was elevating everyone around him. Slowly, the ridicule turned to respect, and Brandon's place on the team began to feel less like a question and more like a certainty. Then, after months of grueling work, came the moment Brandon had been waiting for. Against all odds, he was awarded a full scholarship. For the Razorbacks, scholarships were reserved for the best of the best players who had proven they belonged, and Brandon had done just that. For many, this would have been the end of the story. A walk-on earning a scholarship was rare enough. But for Brandon, it was just the beginning. He wasn't content to be just another player on the team. He wanted to be the best. Brandon's first real test came during a team scrimmage. For months, he had been training and learning, but now, it was time to show what he could do on the field. Lining up against some of the best defensive players in the SEC, Brandon faced an uphill battle. Though he wasn't the most physically gifted player, Brandon's attention to detail and relentless work ethic gave him an edge. Every rep was an opportunity to improve, and every mistake was a lesson. By the end of the scrimmage, the coaches had taken notice. Brandon's hard work eventually paid off in the ultimate way. He was named a starter on the Razorbacks' offensive line. For a former walk-on, this was nearly unheard of. Brandon had gone from being a benchwarmer to a key player on one of the most competitive teams in college football. Brandon's performance didn't just earn him respect within the Razorbacks locker room, it caught the attention of the entire SEC. Week after week, he faced some of the toughest competition in college football, and he held his own. By his senior year, Brandon was an All-American. Even as Brandon prepared for his NFL career, he remained committed to giving back. He spoke at schools, mentored young players, and shared his journey with anyone who needed inspiration. For Brandon, success wasn't just about personal achievement, it was about lifting others up along the way. Brandon Burlsworth's journey wasn't just about football. It was about faith, perseverance, and the belief that anything is possible with hard work and a heart full of purpose. Though his life was tragically cut short, his impact continues to inspire millions around the world. In memory of Brandon Burlsworth, 1976 to 1999. Like, subscribe.